So we are discussing non-homogeneous system of linear equations, and we discussed about consistency for a non-homogeneous system. Okay, so we observed that it is consistent only when the rank of the coefficient matrix is equal to rank of the augmented matrix, and if that rank is equal to number of variables, which is n, we said that it will have unique solution. If the rank is less than n, and it will have infinitely many solutions provided it is consistent. And we have done a few problems where the system does not have any solution, having unique solution, and also having infinitely many solutions. And we also observed that the number of free variables in a non-homogeneous system, or the number of independent variables in a non-homogeneous system, is n minus r, where n is the number of variables and r is the rank of the quotient matrix. But the number of linearly independent solutions are going to be n minus r plus 1. So unlike homogeneous system, here free variables, number of free variables and the number of independent variables different. Number of independent variables will be n minus r, but the number of independent solutions for the non-homogeneous system is n minus r plus 1. And we also noticed that the properties that sum of two solutions is a solution and linear combination of two solutions is a solution does not hold in the case of non-homogeneous system. They're true only for homogeneous system, I said. Okay, so with that I like to discuss some more problems on non-homogeneous system, then we'll go to the next concept. So all of you note down this problem. Next problem. I hope all of you tried the homework problems which are given in the last class. So
Yes,
hope you are able to solve all these problems. So note down the next problem. See, whenever I'm doing it on the board, okay, parallelly you to write down those steps, okay, either on your by yourself or by looking at the board, okay. So make a notebook, make a copy of the class notes. All of you copied? So you do along with me, write down the augmented matrix. Clearly it is a non-homogeneous system. That's why we are considering the augmented matrix. Can you tell me that augmented matrix? What are the coefficients? 5, 2,
5,
minus
2,
6, 2.
minus 6, 2,
Constant is minus 1.
1.
And 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 minus 2. Okay, so use row operations and convert into echelon form. First we want to decide the consistency. Okay, so R2 gets 5R2 minus R1. So it is equivalent to saying that 5, 2 minus 6, 2 minus 1, 5 minus 5, 0, minus 5 minus 2, minus 7, 5 plus 6, 11. Next minus 5 minus 2, minus 7. Next minus 10 plus 1, minus 10 plus 1, minus 9. Am I right?
Excuse me, sir.
Any mistake?
Is it -1 or +1? Just I wanted to check.
Which one?
First equation is equals to
Minus right hand side, minus 1.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So are these calculations correct? If so, then what is your conclusion? What is the rank of the quotient matrix?
2.
2. Rank of the augmented matrix?
2.
2. Number of non-zero rows.
2.
So this implies that rank of the quotient matrix is equal to rank of the augmented matrix is equals to R equals to 2. Okay. So this implies that Ax equal to B, the given system, is consistent. What is the next conclusion? Since R less than n, what is n here?
4.
4. Okay. Ax equal to B has
Infinite solution.
infinite solutions. Write in your notes also. Okay, follow me. Infinite solutions. Now we are trying to find out those infinite solutions. Okay, so where n equals to 4. Number of variables equal to 4. Okay, so Ax equal to B is equivalent to Ax equal to B is equivalent to, can you tell me the new system? 5x
5x plus 2y
plus
minus
2y
6z
minus 6z
plus 2t
equals to minus 1. Next,
minus 7y plus 11z minus 7
7.
equal to minus 9.
okay. Now how many free variables will be there?
2.
N minus r. What is n minus r here?
4
4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Can you see those two? Can you see those two free variables from this
Yes,
equation?
sir.
So what are the two free variables? What are the independent variables? Which one you want me to express?
Y and T.
Y and T.
Y in terms of z and t. You can express y in terms of z and t. Z in terms of y and t.
No,
T in terms of y and t. Which one is better?
Z in
Z
terms
in
of
terms of Y
Z
and
in terms of t. Okay, so 11z is equals to 7y plus 7t minus 9. So this implies that z equal to 1 by 11 into 7y plus 7t plus 7t minus 9. Okay, now because y and t are independent variables, I can assign any value to y and t. Therefore I am assuming y and t are arbitrary constants because they can take any value. So what you want me to take? Y equal to what? K1 or anything else? If I take K1, you will get fractions. You will get a Z in terms of you will get a fraction in Z. To avoid fraction, instead of K1, what can I
11
choose?
K1.
Yeah, I
11
should be if I choose 11 K1 and T equals to 11 K2, then you don't get fraction, right? So then what will be Z? Simplify and tell me. It is going to be I think 7K1
7 K1 plus
plus
7 K
K2
minus 9 by 11.
minus 9 by 11. Okay, then if this is the case, then what is x? Get the expression for x. X 5x equal to, so x equal to 1 by 5 times 1 by 5 times 6z minus 2y minus 2t minus 1. So substitute y z y t expressions over there and tell me the expression for x. Are you simplifying?
x1 equal to 4k1 plus 4k2 minus 11
4k1
plus 4k2
plus 4k2.
minus 11.
You didn't get any fraction here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what about others? Did you get the same expression?
That is minus 13 by 11, I guess, sir.
Which one?
The
Constant.
Yes.
Sir, once can you scroll up, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, to the echelon form, sir.
Hmm. Shall I?
Yes, sir.
Now, is this expression correct or not? I want others also to tell.
No, sir.
So it should be
What is
13
it?
by 11.
Hmm?
Should be
Minus
13 by
13 by 11.
These two are correct.
Yes,
4k1
sir.
plus 4k1 plus 4k2
Yes, sir.
plus
Minus 13 by 11.
Minus 13 by 11, sir.
minus 13 by 11. Fine. Okay. So then write your final solution. Therefore, x is equals to. Therefore, x is equals to x, y, z, t. Can you tell me the expressions once? 4k1
Plus 4k2
4k2
minus 11 by 13.
minus 11 by 13
Minus 13 by 11.
minus 13 by 11. Next, y,
11k1
11k1.
z.
11k2.
no
7k1 plus 7k2
7k1 plus 7k2
minus 9 by 11.
minus 9 by 11 t 11k2.
11k2
So again try to write it as a linear combination of three vectors. What is x? Linear combination of the vectors. What is x? X equal to, if I write k1 outside, what will be the first vector? 4, 11,
4,
7,
11, 7,
0
7
plus
0
k2, 4, 0,
4
7,
0 11
7, 11 plus constant
plus
times plus what is the
minus
constant
13 by
vector? Minus
minus 13 by 11
0
minus 9 by
Minus
11
9 by 11, 0.
minus 9 by 11 0.
0.
Okay, now just you can see that these two will satisfy homogeneous system. That means when you substitute these values in these two, you will get 0 0 right hand side. When you substitute these values here, you will get -1 and -2. So this is a solution. Okay, how do you obtain the remaining two solutions? Sorry, how many independent solutions will be there?
3.
3.
3. N minus r plus 1 equal to 2 plus 1 equal to 3 independent. Can you tell me those? Can you generate those 3 independent solutions? What will be one independent solutions?
4, 11.
If I give 0 0, if I give k1 k2 0, you will get this vector. See, solutions are obtained by giving different values to k1 and k2. You follow? So if I give k1 k2 equal to 0, you will get one solution. That is first independent solution. I'm asking you similarly, how can you get the remaining two independent solutions?
K1 equals to 0, K1 equals to 1.
K1 equal to 1 and k2 equal to 0. Then add these two. You will get second independent solution. What is the third one?
K1
K1
equal
equal to 0, K2
K2
equal to
equal to
1.
1. Add these two. You'll get the third independent solution. And if you give K1, K2 equal to 1, 1 and add, that will be a solution, but that will not be independent with the previous three, because you will get at most three linearly independent solutions. Now, do you understand how to generate the set of all solutions and how to get the independent solutions? This
Yes,
expression,
sir.
this expression will give infinitely many solutions, because I can give infinitely many values to K1 and K2. The simplified expression only will give the independent solution. Okay, so this is the answer to this problem. Okay, so note down the next model. The next one is a very important model. Note down, all of you. I'll be dictating. Please write down. Next problem number 5. For what values of lambda and mu, at values of lambda and mu, the following system, for what values of lambda and mu, the following system of linear equations write down the system of linear equations. X plus y plus z equal to 6. X plus y plus z equal to 6. Next one, x plus 2y plus 3z. X plus 2y plus 3z equal to 10, and x plus 2y plus lambda z. X plus 2y plus lambda z equal to mu. Okay, has first question, unique solution. Second one, first question you write it as no solution. For what values of lambda and mu, the following system has no solution. Second one, unique solution. Third one, infinite solutions. Okay, so this is the question asked, and this is a very important model in examination point of view also. So how do you deal this problem? How do you tackle this problem? Tell me the way forward.
First, convert it into echelon form.
Okay.
Then we have to take the conditions. For no solution, we have to check rank A is not equal to rank B.
Okay.
By that, we should make these values equal to 0 or something.
Yes.
And by that, we can get a assumption about these two values limit, like
Yeah. So
unique.
so first consider the augmented matrix, right? So what is the augmented matrix now? 1 1 1 6. 1 1 1 6. Next one is 1 2 3 10. 1 2 3 10. Last one
1 2 lambda
1 2 lambda and mu, right? So convert into echelon form. Okay, so convert into echelon form. Convert into echelon form, and so what are the row operations? R2 gets R2 minus R1, and R3 gets R3 minus R1. Okay, So all of you do parallelly on your notebook. So 1 1 1 6. Okay. So 0 1 2 4
4
0 1 lambda
1
minus 1
lambda minus 1
minus 6.
mu minus 6.
Okay. Write down the next pivot. Identify the next pivot. Again 1. So row operations R2 sorry R3 gets R3 minus R2 and that's it, no? R3 gets R3 minus R2. Okay, so what is the equivalent matrix now? 1 1 1 6
0 1 2 4
0 1 2 4
0 0 lambda minus 3
lambda minus 3
mu minus 10.
minus 10. Right. Now this will be in echelon form for different values of lambda and mu. Okay, because it is satisfying the conditions of the echelon matrix. Okay, now how do you discuss case by case? So when can you say it is not having any solution?
Rank is
Lambda equal to 3.
mu not
mu
equal
not
to
System
equal
will
to
have no solution when these two are having different ranks. Coefficient matrix rank should be different from augmented matrix. So how can you achieve that?
either lambda minus
Lambda minus 3 is equals to 0.
If I say lambda, if I say lambda minus 3 equal to 0, what will be the rank of the quotient matrix?
2.
2.
2. Then what about mu?
Should not be
It
equal to
shouldn't
10.
be equal to 10.
You should
Any
not
other value or
mu
rather
should,
than 10.
yeah, mu should not be equal to 10. In that case, there will be 3 non-zero rows in the augmented matrix. So augmented matrix rank will be 3. 2 not equal to 3 means it is inconsistent. That means it will not have any solution. Okay. So write down the same thing. So case 1. So what is case 1? Mu case 1. Lambda equal to 3 and mu
Yes,
not
sir.
equal to 10 implies rank of A will be equal to 2. Rank of the augmented matrix will be equals to 3. Rank of A not equal to rank of the augmented matrix means Ax equal to B has no solution. Correct. So when it will have a unique solution?
when
Lambda
rank
not
is
equal to 3 and mu not equal to 10.
Think again.
Equal to 3, equal to 10.
Lambda equal to 3 and
equals
mu
to
equal
Lambda not equal to
Not
3, mu
equal to
not
3,
equal to
not equal
10.
to 10.
lambda not equal to
Lambda
3
not,
and
Not equal to 10.
mu not equal to 10.
mu equal to 10 we can get same rank.
yeah.
For
So
unique
it,
solution, we
okay.
need to have same rank.
same rank. That can be achieved only by putting condition on this. No. If I say lambda minus 3 not equal to 0, then rank of the quotient matrix is 3.
3.
What will be the rank of the augmented matrix?
3.
This is a non-zero element present in A as well as augment of A. So it doesn't matter whether this value is 0 or not. Mu minus 10 is 0 or not. So for any value of mu, for lambda not equal to 3, ranks will be 3. Therefore, it will have unique solution. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so write down. So lambda not equal to 3 implies. So that means what? Mu belongs to real numbers. Okay, we assume that it is a real matrix. Rank of A is equals to rank of the augmented matrix is equals to R equals to 3, and also n equal to 3 number of variables. This implies that, okay, R equals to n equal to, okay, R equal to n. Okay, hence Ax equal to b is consistent. It is consistent and has a unique solution. Okay.
Excuse
Now,
me, sir.
yeah. Tell me.
Sir, even I can say that lambda minus 3 is equals to 0 and u minus 10 is equals to 0. Then I'll get a rank of 2, no, sir, for both of them.
Yeah, rank 2.
So,
It will be infinite.
Infinite solution. I'm discussing when it will have a unique solution.
okay, sir.
Okay. So what is now that is under case 3. Now, in order to get infinitely many solutions, what should be the condition? First of all, it has to be consistent. For the system to be consistent and having infinite solutions, many solutions, rank must be less than n. That means rank must be less than 3. Rank must be less than 3 means last row must be 0. Last row 0 means lambda should be equal to 3 and mu equal to 10. In that case, rank of the quotient matrix is, rank of the augmented matrix is also 2. Both are same, so it is consistent and it will have infinitely many solutions. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So what is the next case? So lambda equal to 3 and mu equals to 10 implies rank of A equals to rank of the augmented matrix is equals to R equals to 2. Okay, since n equal to 3, since n equal to 3, R is less than n. Therefore, Ax equal to b is consistent and has infinite solutions. Did we complete the problem? Anything else? Do we have to solve the system?
No.
No.
Question is asked just about for what values of mu and lambda the system has a unique solution, no solution, infinitely many solution. That's it. Okay. So we really don't need to solve the system. Okay. Solve the system only when you are asked to do so. Okay. So read the problem 2-3 times. What is asked? Okay. What is to be solved? So that's it. Okay. Sorry. Right. So in a similar way, can you take one problem as homework? Okay. So take this. Discuss the nature of the following non-homogeneous system. Write down. Discuss the nature of the following non-homogeneous system. For various for different values of lambda. For different values of lambda. Okay.
I want to repeat, sir.
Discuss the nature of the following non-homogeneous system for different values of lambda. And the non-homogeneous system is given by 2x plus y plus z equal to 10, 3x plus 2y, 3x plus 2y plus 3z equal to 11. Oh, sorry. There is a, I copied it by mistake. Please strike out. System is given by x plus y plus 4z. Okay, x plus y plus 4z equal to 6. X minus x plus 2y, x plus 2y minus 2z equal to 6, and lambda x plus y, lambda x plus y, lambda x plus y plus z equal to 6. So what is unknown here? Lambda.
Lambda.
So for various values of lambda, see the nature of the system, whether it is consistent or inconsistent. Okay, if consistent, will it have unique solution or infinitely many solutions? So discuss those things. Is it not similar to the previous problem? Okay, so you can also try one more problem similar to this. Write down minus 2x plus y, minus 2x plus y plus z equal to a, x minus 2y plus z equal to b, x plus y minus 2z equal to c. Okay, show that if a plus b plus c equal to 0, show that if a plus b plus c equal to 0, the system has the above system has infinitely many solutions. The above system has infinitely many solutions. Otherwise, no solution. Otherwise, the system has no solution. Okay. So with this, I am concluding the discussion on non-homogeneous system. You try these two homework problems. If any difficulty is there, we'll discuss in the next class or in one session. Is that okay? Shall I move on to the next topic?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next one is the last topic of your first unit. Okay. So write down the put the side heading. LU decomposition method. Today I will just outline this method. We will do problems in the next class. Okay. LU decomposition. LU decomposition method. Okay. So so just listen. Later you can copy. Whatever I am telling now, you just concentrate and just listen. Okay. So far, what kind of system of equations we have considered? Ax equal to b. What is the order of A?
N into n.
M by n. A is an m by n matrix. Number of equations equal to number of variables. More equations in less variables, less equations in more variables. Is that okay? Now, if I consider a square matrix, if my matrix is a square matrix, okay, then how do you what are the other methods you know to solve the system? If so, let us say I'm giving you a square matrix. A is a square matrix of order n. How did you learn to solve this kind of system in your earlier classes?
Gauss-Jordan method.
What is the first method that you learned? Is it Gauss-Jordan?
Thomas.
Is that the first method?
Cramer's.
X equal to A inverse B. First one is matrix inversion method. Is that all? Second one, somebody said Cramer's rule. Cramer's rule. Third one,
Gauss-Jordan.
yes, Gauss-Jordan method. Gauss-Jordan method. Okay. Will these methods, are these three methods work if A is not a square matrix? They will not work. But this method will work whether A is a square matrix or not a square matrix. Do you agree?
Yes.
So this is a general method of solving the non-homogeneous system, whatever the order of the matrix. Is it okay? So this method is called Gauss elimination method. What is this method called? This method is called Gauss elimination method. Make it as a note, okay? So somebody asks you to solve a system by Gauss elimination method, that means what? You just have to convert the quotient matrix into echelon form and compare the ranks and accordingly identify the free variables, assign arbitrary constants to the free variables, express the remaining variables in terms of the arbitrary constants.
ఉందని దగ్గర
Express the remaining variables in terms of this arbitrary constant and write the final solution, which we can call it as a general solution. Okay, so Gauss elimination method works for any type of system, any type of non-homogeneous system, whereas these three methods work only when the matrix is a square matrix. In a similar way, LU decomposition method also works only when when you have a square matrix, when the quotient matrix is square matrix. Is it okay? So in this, so what is the fourth method I'm going to discuss? Fourth method is going to be LU decomposition method. LU decomposition method. Okay, so you know already three methods to solve Ax equal to B when A is a square matrix. So you are going to learn the fourth method. Is it okay? So in all these three cases, you have seen that the system is having a unique solution. That means A is going to be a non-singular matrix. Same assumption is going to be made for this case also, LU decomposition method. So what I'm going to consider, A is a non-singular matrix. When A is a non-singular matrix, rank of the quotient matrix as well as rank of the augmented matrix will be equal and equal to n, which is the number of variables. So it is going to have a unique solution. Okay, so Gauss-Jordan method is also applicable. Okay, LU decomposition method is also applicable to the system where it is having a unique solution. Is it okay? So what is my assumption here? My assumption here is non-singular matrix. Okay, then Ax equal to B will have a unique solution. Okay, now how do we solve this system? How do you find out that unique solution system? In this method. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, the idea in this method is to decompose, to resolve the given matrix into product of two matrices. One is a lower triangular matrix, other one is an upper triangular matrix. Okay, we want to decompose the matrix A into L into U, where L is a lower triangular, U is an upper triangular. Find out a pair of matrices, find out a pair of triangular matrices. One is lower triangular, other one is upper triangular, such that their product is U, product is A. Okay, so how to find out those pair of matrices, I will tell you. Okay, but what is the advantage if you are trying to find out, if you are trying to express A equal to L into U? We will see that. Okay, so if that is the case, if I am able to express A equal to L into U somehow, then what is my system becomes? Ax equal to B becomes, I can replace now A with the, I can replace A with the
LU.
LU. So L into U of x equal to B. Now you know matrix multiplication is associated. Therefore I can write this as L into Ux equal to B. Okay, because because A is a square matrix, I am telling L and U are triangular matrices. Basically triangular matrices are square matrices. That means L and U also have to be square matrices of same order, which is n. Is it okay? So when A is a matrix of order n by n, X is a matrix of order n by 1. This is decomposed into L into U, and L is also of order n by n, U is also of order n by n. Therefore, when you are multiplying U with X, this is of order n by n and this is of order n by 1. What is the resultant matrix order?
N by 1.
N by 1 means n by 1 means a column vector. N rows, one column means it's a column vector. So I will call that column vector as Y. Okay, so what is Y? Ux. Is it okay? Now you solve the system, you solve this system for Y. You solve this system for Y because L and U are already computed. I said somehow we computed, where is this? I said somehow we computed L and U. Somehow we computed L and U. So with the help of L, you will find out Y. Once you got Y, with the help of Y, you will find out with the help of Y, and now Y is unknown, U is already known. With the help of these two, you will find out X. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find out X only. So you will be getting X in this method. Okay. So in the whole process, what is the main challenge here? Is it solving for X or what?
Solving for X.
Solving for X is very easy, no? Once you know L and U. Now the point is how to find out L and U, how to decompose A into product of two triangular matrices. Is that okay? So if we know how to find out L and U, then the rest of the things is just a routine thing, no? So same template will be there for every problem. Okay. So first you will find out Y, then you find out X. Is that okay? Is it clear? So in the next class, we'll be seeing how to decompose a given non-singular matrix into L and U. Okay, and then we'll see one or two problems and in LU decomposition method. With that, your first unit will be over. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.